Are you tired? Not just the end-of-the-day, physically drained kind of tired. I'm talking about a deep soul-level exhaustion that comes from constantly running on a financial hamster wheel. It's the quiet, sinking feeling when you see an envelope in the mail you know is a bill you can't afford. It's the subtle sting of embarrassment when your card is declined. It's the constant, low-grade hum of anxiety, the mental gymnastics of juggling due dates, and the feeling that you're working harder than ever but somehow just treading water, or worse, sinking. You follow the rules, you try to save, but the dream of real financial freedom, the kind you read about, feels like a distant shoreline that's drifting further and further away. It's a suffocating cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, where your money controls you, dictating your choices, your opportunities, and stealing your peace of mind. Now, for a moment, I want you to close your eyes and imagine a different reality. A life where money is not a source of anxiety, but a tool for creation, for impact, for joy. A life where you wake up not with a sense of obligation, but with a palpable feeling of purpose and excitement for the day ahead. Imagine the freedom of not having to look at the price tag on a menu. The power to say yes to an opportunity without first checking your bank balance. The ability to support your loved ones, to fund your children's dreams, to walk away from a job that drains your spirit. This isn't a fantasy reserved for the lucky few. This is a reality that has been systematically engineered by the world's most successful people for over a century. What if I told you that the vast chasm between these two worlds, the gap between living in quiet desperation and building a life of true abundance, could be bridged by one single, consistent daily habit? A habit so deceptively simple you might be tempted to dismiss it, yet so profoundly powerful that it has been the secret cornerstone of legendary fortunes. To understand its power, we have to travel back in time. The year is 1908. A young, ambitious journalist named Napoleon Hill lands the interview of a lifetime. He finds himself sitting across from the richest, most powerful man in the world, the steel magnate, Andrew Carnegie. Carnegie, who had clawed his way up from abject poverty to become a titan of industry, saw in Hill a burning curiosity and a relentless drive. He held a radical belief for his time, that success wasn't an accident of birth or a stroke of luck, but the result of a specific philosophy, a formula of thinking and acting that could be taught to any person willing to learn. Carnegie then made Hill a monumental, life-altering proposition: dedicate the next 20 years of his life without pay to studying the habits of America's most successful individuals to codify this philosophy for the masses. It was a philanthropic mission disguised as a journalistic one. Carnegie wanted to democratize success. Hill accepted the challenge. For the next 2 decades, he became a student and confidant to over 500 of the era's greatest minds. We're talking about Henry Ford, the man who put the world on wheels; Thomas Edison, the genius who banished the darkness; John D. Rockefeller, the oil baron who defined an entire industry. He interviewed 3 U.S. presidents, inventors, and financiers, compiling thousands of pages of notes. Through this unprecedented deep-dive study, Hill uncovered 13 core principles of achievement, which he famously documented in his world-changing masterpiece, Think and Grow Rich. But among them all, one practice stood out as the catalyst. It was the engine that drove everything else. It was the daily ritual that transformed vague desires into definite plans, and those plans into tangible, real-world riches. This is the exact habit he revealed, the master key to unlocking personal fortune. And here's the most incredible part. This habit is not some dusty relic of the industrial age. It is a timeless, universal principle of high achievement. What do modern-day titans like Oprah Winfrey, who built a media empire from the ashes of a difficult childhood, or visionary entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley, who conjure billion-dollar companies from lines of code, have in common with those early 20th century magnates? They are still using this exact principle, adapted for our hyper-connected, fast-paced world. They might call it by different names: a daily journaling practice, a strategic thinking session, a goal-setting ritual, a whiteboard hour. But the core function is identical. It's a dedicated, non-negotiable appointment with their own ambition. It's the disciplined process of taking the chaotic, brilliant, and often overwhelming ideas in their minds and giving them structure, clarity, and a path forward. While most of the world starts their day reacting to emails, news alerts, and social media notifications, the world's highest achievers start their day by proactively designing their future. They understand that wealth isn't just accumulated, it's architected, and this daily habit is their blueprint. So what is this habit? Stay with me because I'm not just going to tell you what it is. That would be easy. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to break it down for you into a simple, actionable system. I'll show you precisely how to implement it, why it works on a deep psychological level, and how you can start it tonight with nothing more than a pen and a piece of paper. You don't need a business degree, a trust fund, or any special connections. The only prerequisite is the decision to try. This isn't another fluffy motivational speech or a list of vague get-rich-quick tips. This is a practical, hands-on workshop. It might sound too good to be true, but the evidence spans more than a century of success stories. By the end of this video, you will have a tool that can fundamentally rewire your relationship with money, ambition, and your own potential. You will learn to stop chasing money and start attracting the opportunities that create it. You will shift from being a passive participant in your own financial life to being the deliberate creator of your success. Prepare to never look at your goals, your daily routine, or your bank account the same way again. Are you ready to close the book on financial stress and start writing a new chapter of abundance and purpose? Are you ready to learn the one habit that separates the dreamers from the doers? Then you're in the right place. This is Real MoneyFy, where money meets mindset. Let's dive in and unlock your true financial potential. The year is 1908. The world is crackling with the energy of a new century. Fortunes are being forged in steel and oil, and skyscrapers are rewriting the horizons of American cities. In this era of titans, no name looms larger than Andrew Carnegie. A Scottish immigrant who arrived in America with empty pockets, he had become the master of the steel industry, a man whose wealth was so vast it was difficult to comprehend, one of the richest men the world had ever known. Now, in the twilight of his life, Carnegie was consumed by a new ambition, not to accumulate more wealth, but to understand its very nature and give that knowledge away. He believed that the principles of success were not a matter of luck or birthright, but a formula that could be learned and applied by anyone with the will to do so. He just needed the right person to help him prove it. That person turned out to be a young, little-known journalist named Napoleon Hill. Hill had secured what he thought was a career-defining 3-hour interview with the industrialist for a magazine series on successful men. He arrived at Carnegie's magnificent office, a cathedral of commerce adorned with dark wood and rich leather, ready to ask his questions and write his story. But Carnegie had other plans. The old tycoon saw past the young journalist's cheap suit and recognized a burning ambition, a relentless curiosity that mirrored his own. For hours, Carnegie didn't just answer Hill's questions, he interrogated him, testing his intellect, his character, and his resolve. Then, Carnegie leaned forward and made a proposition that would alter the course of Hill's life, and the lives of millions to come. He said, "I'm not only going to share my own secrets with you, but I will open the doors to the most successful men in the world. I will give you letters of introduction to my personal friends and business associates. Your job is to study them, to interview them, to live with them if you must, until you find the common thread that binds all their achievements. I want you to uncover their secrets and create a simple, clear formula for success that anyone, from the factory worker to the farmer, can follow." It was the opportunity of a lifetime, a quest of epic proportions. But then came the catch. Carnegie looked Hill squarely in the eye and asked if he would undertake this monumental task, a project that would likely consume the next 20 years of his life without any financial compensation. He would receive only the letters of introduction. All travel, lodging, and living expenses would be his own responsibility. Carnegie then started a stopwatch on his desk. "I will give you 60 seconds to give me your answer, yes or no." In that single, silent minute, Napoleon Hill's mind raced. It was an absurd, impossible request. He had a wife and family to support. How could he possibly survive, let alone travel the country with no income for 2 decades? It was a gamble of the highest order, but his intuition screamed louder than his fear. This was more than a job, it was a calling. Before the 60th second had ticked away, Hill looked at the world's richest man and said yes. That single word set in motion a 20-year odyssey. True to his word, Carnegie opened the doors. Hill spent the next 2 decades on a relentless pilgrimage, crisscrossing the country to interview the very architects of modern America. He didn't just speak with a few icons. He analyzed over 500 of the most powerful and influential figures of the age. He stood beside Henry Ford as he perfected the assembly line, learning firsthand about the power of persistence. He sat in Thomas Edison's laboratory and learned that failure was a myth, with Edison telling him, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." He interviewed Theodore Roosevelt, Alexander Graham Bell, John D. Rockefeller, F.W. Woolworth, and William Wrigley Jr. This was no academic exercise. Hill lived the philosophy he was studying. He faced his own crushing defeats, including financial ruin and personal loss. He started and failed in businesses, constantly testing the principles of success against the harsh realities of his own life. Through it all, he kept writing, filling notebook after notebook with the distilled wisdom of the Titans. Finally, in 1937, at the height of the Great Depression, the culmination of his life's work was published. The result was Think and Grow Rich. It was more than a book, it was a lifeline. In a time of widespread despair, it offered a blueprint for hope, a declaration that one's circumstances did not have to define one's destiny. It became an instant bestseller, a foundational text for personal development that has since sold over 100 million copies worldwide. The book meticulously detailed the 13 principles of achievement, from the power of a definite chief aim to the secrets of the mastermind. It was the complete formula Carnegie had challenged him to find. Yet, after distilling this vast ocean of knowledge, after dedicating 2 decades to this singular quest, Hill was often asked a simple, penetrating question by his readers and audiences. They wanted the essence, the starting point, the one thing that mattered most. After all this research, what truly separates the wealthy, the successful, and the fulfilled from the masses who struggle and live in quiet desperation? Hill was hesitant to oversimplify his life's work, but he conceded that all 13 principles, every success story he ever documented, rested upon a single foundational pillar. He said it often came down to just one daily habit. A practice so simple it's often overlooked, yet so powerful, it acts as the catalyst for all significant achievement. This one habit, he argued, was the true starting point on the path to riches, in whatever form you seek them. That habit was called autosuggestion. Every single day, write down your exact financial goal. Repeat it, visualize it, say it with conviction until your subconscious mind believes it. Because once your subconscious believes, your behavior changes automatically. Hill's words, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Most people wake up every day focused on their problems. The wealthy wake up focused on their vision. You might think this is just positive thinking. It's not. It's brain science. Repetition rewires your brain. The subconscious doesn't filter. It simply accepts what you feed it. Look at real-world proof. Arnold Schwarzenegger visualized bodybuilding wins years before his first title. Oprah calls intention setting and visualization a cornerstone of her success. Jim Carrey wrote himself a $10 million check before anyone knew his name. And years later, cashed that exact amount. This isn't magic, this is mental conditioning. Most people condition themselves with scarcity. Billionaires condition themselves with abundance. So how do you take a century-old secret from Napoleon Hill and make it your engine for wealth creation in the modern age? It's a fair question. In a world of instant gratification, AI, and endless digital noise, the idea of simply writing down a goal can feel quaint. Almost too simple to be effective. Many dismiss it as wishful thinking, a relic of a bygone self-help era. But that skepticism misses the profound psychological mechanics at play. This isn't about magic, it's about neuroscience. You're not just wishing for wealth, you are systematically reprogramming your mind to create it. This process works by engaging a powerful filter in your brain called the reticular activating system, or RAS. Your RAS is the gatekeeper of your attention. Right now, it's filtering out the feeling of your clothes on your skin and the hum of your refrigerator so you can focus on this video. When you intensely and repeatedly focus on a single goal, you are programming your RAS to seek out anything related to it. Opportunities that were previously invisible to you will suddenly start appearing everywhere. It's not that they weren't there before, it's that your brain was filtering them out as irrelevant. This blueprint will turn your brain into a goal-seeking missile. Here's how you build it, step by step. Step 1. Define your chief aim with absolute clarity. The first and most critical failure point for most people is vagueness. A goal like "I want to be wealthy" is not a goal, it's a daydream. It provides your mind with no clear target. It's like telling a ship's captain to sail to the warm part of the ocean. Without a specific port of call, the ship will just drift. Your mind works the same way. You must give it a precise destination. This means your goal must be specific and dated. Don't say, "I want to earn more money online." Instead, be precise. "I will be earning a net profit of $10,000 per month from my online business by December 31st, 2026. Notice the components. It has a specific number, $10,000. It has a specific qualifier, net profit. It has a specific vehicle, my online business. And it has a non-negotiable deadline, December 31st, 2026. This deadline creates a sense of urgency and transforms your dream into a project. It forces your brain to start calculating backwards, to start thinking about the necessary steps. This is the difference between a wish and a plan. Take some time with this. Make sure the goal truly resonates with you. It has to be your goal, not one you think you have. This is the foundation upon which everything else is built. Step 2. Carve it into your consciousness. Now that you have your clear, dated statement, you must write it down. Not once, not when you feel like it. You must write it every single day, twice a day. Once in the morning upon waking, and once at night just before sleeping. And there's a crucial detail here. Don't type it. You must handwrite it. This isn't an arbitrary rule. The physical act of writing engages your brain on a much deeper level than typing. The unique motor signals sent from your brain to your hand, the friction of the pen on paper. This creates a powerful multi-sensory experience that strengthens neural pathways. It's called haptic feedback, and it dramatically improves memory and encoding. Typing is too fast, too automatic. Handwriting forces you to slow down, to be present, and to connect with each word you write. The morning ritual primes your reticular activating system for the day, tuning your focus to spot opportunities and information relevant to your goal. The evening ritual is equally powerful. By making it the last thing you think about, you are handing the objective over to your subconscious mind to work on as you sleep. Your subconscious will make connections and deliver insights that your conscious mind would miss. Don't make excuses. This takes less than 2 minutes. It doesn't matter if your handwriting is messy. The act itself is what matters. This daily ritual is the steady, consistent pressure that turns a lump of coal into a diamond. Step 3. Feel it as your present reality. This is where we add the fuel to the fire. After you write your statement, close your eyes and visualize its fulfillment. But this is not passive daydreaming. This is an active, emotional rehearsal. Top athletes do this constantly. They mentally rehearse the perfect golf swing, or the game-winning shot until it's ingrained in their nervous system. You must do the same with your financial goal. See it, feel it. But don't just think about the money itself. A number in a bank account is emotionally sterile. Instead, imagine the life that money will give you. What is that freedom like? Feel the weight lift off your shoulders as you become debt-free. Imagine the joy of being able to provide incredible experiences for your family. See yourself logging into your bank account and feeling a sense of profound security and peace. Engage all your senses. What do you see around you in this new reality? What sounds do you hear? What does the air smell like? What does it feel like to hold the keys to your new home? The key is to generate the wish fulfilled. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you consistently pair your goal with powerful, positive emotions, you create a magnetic pull towards it. You begin to believe on a deep cellular level that this reality is not only possible, but inevitable. Step 4. Declare it as truth. After you've written and visualized, you must now speak your goal out loud. This step can feel awkward at first, but it is non-negotiable. Hearing your own voice declare your goal as reality creates a powerful auditory feedback loop that reinforces the belief. And the language you use is critical. You do not say, "I earning $10,000 a month." The phrase, "I will" perpetually keeps your goal in the future, always just out of reach. Instead, you must state it in the present tense, as if it is already a fact. You say, "I earning $10,000 a month. I financially free. I a successful investor." This creates a state of cognitive dissonance in your brain. Your current reality doesn't match the statement, and your mind hates that inconsistency. It will subconsciously begin to work overtime to close that gap by changing your behaviors, your perceptions, and your actions to align with the statement you are declaring as truth. Find a private space, your car, the shower, your office before anyone arrives, and speak it with conviction. Say it to your reflection in the mirror. Don't just mumble the words. Speak them with the authority of someone stating an undeniable fact. You are not asking for permission. You are making a declaration of who you are becoming. Step 5. Fuel your faith with massive intelligent action. The first 4 steps align your internal world. This final step is where you align your external world. Without action, this entire blueprint is nothing more than a sophisticated form of daydreaming. Faith without works is dead. The purpose of programming your mind is to inspire and sustain the massive, consistent action required to achieve your goal. Action is the bridge between your inner world and your outer results. So what does action look like? It means you reverse engineer your goal. If you want to earn $10,000 a month in 24 months, what milestone do you need to hit in 12 months? In 6 months? What do you need to accomplish? What is the single most important task you must complete? This is where you must be brutally honest with yourself. What skills are you missing? Then your action is to study. Go buy the book, enroll in the course, hire the coach. What do you need to build? A website, a product, a service? Then your action is to build it one block at a time. Who do you need to connect with? Mentors, clients, partners? Then your action is to network. Send the email, make the call, attend the event. The mental work you've been doing will give you the courage and clarity to take these actions, even when they're difficult or scary. Action creates momentum. It provides real-world feedback, allowing you to adjust your plan. It is the ultimate expression of your belief in your goal. So here is your challenge. Commit to this 5-step process without fail for the next 30 days. Don't judge the results day by day, just execute the blueprint. At the end of those 30 days, you may not have reached your ultimate financial destination, but I promise you this, you will be a different person. You will notice how your daily decisions, your conversations, and your priorities have begun to shift, aligning themselves with the future you are now actively creating. You will have started the unstoppable process of becoming the person capable of achieving your greatest ambitions. Napoleon Hill proved success starts in the mind before it ever reaches your bank account. The wealthiest people in history use this habit. The billionaires of today still use it. The only question is, will you? Start tonight. Write your wealth goal. Repeat it daily. Back it with action. This is real MoneyFy, where money meets mindset. And in the next video, I'll show you the 7 hidden money habits of the world's wealthiest. Secrets even Hill didn't share. Don't miss it.